Right, hello, this is Neil from iPaintGirls.com. You can visit the website for more free tutorials or to check out my gallery. And if you want, if you have a DeviantArt account, you can then comment on any of my work you want to. Alright, so I deleted my layer for guidelines because I didn't need it anymore. I'm going to make a new layer now for guidelines. Just so I don't get confused, I'm going to make it red like that. Okay, now I wanted to do another window on this plane here just to show something when it falls on the horizon, because this does get a little bit confusing and complicated, and so I just want to show something here really quick. So we'll start with our line there. Oops, that's on the wrong layer. I meant that to be on this layer. So I want to have it be the same thickness as that window up there, or the same width rather. Now remember, because it's on this plane, I draw these lines to this vanishing point. And to match it up perfectly, just make sure you're right on the horizon line, on that dot, in the center of the dot on the horizon line. Right, so now I can go, and I put those on the wrong layer. Man, wasting time. That's what I'm doing. I could go all the way through, it really doesn't matter, because I'm going to be deleting them anyway. That is, I'm going to be deleting that layer. Now I'm going to start from right here. Hold down Shift, come straight down. Voila. I'll also want to darken in these lines here, like so. Now this is where it can get kind of complicated, and what I wanted to show is, remember, now you draw with your guidelines. I'll go ahead and do that really quick. We draw these two corners to that vanishing point over there. Now notice we can actually see two parts there. We can see two lines. Unlike up here, I can't see this one. It's because it's behind. It's disappearing underneath, behind the wall. And this one's disappearing behind the wall. So we only can see the bottom and we only see the top. But this one here, since it's below and above the horizon line, we'll be able to see the top and the bottom. And we're going to be able to see this side here as well. So how do we determine, the thickness of everything? Well, an easy way to do this is to decide the thickness of this first. Let's say I could either make it the same thickness as this one down here, so I can make it quite thin, and I would draw it from the red line to red line. And let's say I wanted that thickness, right? But what if I wanted it to match this top part? Then the same thing. Just make sure you draw it from the red line to red line, so it stops when it touches those red lines. I'll zoom in so we can see this better. All right, so it stops with that red line, and then you want to follow those lines through with black now. So that's like we're doing these lines. Remember, this line here is created by this point comes back to the vanishing point. That's how we got that line there. So that's how we're getting these two lines, is by going back to the vanishing point. Okay, now for the thickness, go ahead and zoom out here. I think I did that on the wrong layer, didn't I? Okay, let's see here. So for the thickness, what you do is you start from this vanishing point here, come to where they intersect. So see where they intersect there, where this line intersects that line. So where your vertical line intersects the line going back to that vanishing point. So where this line intersects the horizontal or the vertical line intersects these two lines, that's the thickness. So notice it's not going to be very thick at all. They're going to be very thin because it's so close to the horizon. But nonetheless, they're still going to have some thickness that you'll be able to see there. And it's almost enough to where you can't even see it because it's so close, but we can see it a little bit. See that one? You can see that one a little bit like that, and then start from here and then go like that. Notice this one's a little bit thicker because it's more below the horizon. This one's thinner because it's more above the horizon. Right, so that's how you do that, and I did that all in that layer, so oh well. You get the idea. So I'm just going to get rid of that layer, and whatever, we'll just say that point is that we wanted to learn how to do that, but I don't need to leave it there. I accidentally erased part of that line, whatever. Just connect those 2 points, and voila. Now let's say we want an object on this plane here. I'm going to make it more of a complex object, like a cross. So you start with your line, and remember, because this object is on this plane, on the left horizon points plane, I need to make a new layer. we need to make the vanishing or the perspective lines go back to this vanishing point rather than the other one. And notice this is going to be the same as the other vanishing point that was there before, the same line that was there before. Right, then we got to take this point and make a line to this vanishing point over here. So that will determine how thick the object is on both of these. So let's say now we'll use our black. Let me see how much time I have. Okay, so 5 minutes into it. It's going to be a cross. I don't want it to be too thick. We'll do something like that. And this side's going to be quite thin, so like that. But remember, they connect to those lines there. Right, so far so good. Now we know how to add all kinds of stuff like that, and then if I disappear that, we can see what we have there. Right, now remember I said I wanted a cross, so they have to go to the vanishing points, and so now I just go here and I decide, well, where do I want the cross to be? Let's say right towards the top. So I make one vanishing point. How thick do I want it to be? Let's say I want the beam to be that thick, like so. And then I go in and remember, vertical lines stay vertical because we're not in 3-point perspective. So now I just need to draw vertical lines on how long I want that to be. So I'll say like here. This is something to remember. And again, you could do this by mirroring from the ground plane and mirroring that cross shape up. We'll kind of get into that in a little bit. But first I wanted to show, for now you can just kind of wing it. Remember that this side of things are going to be shorter on this side than this side. So just remember that, so you can make this side a little longer than that. I probably exaggerated that a little too much, but whatever, the idea is there, so that's what's important. And like that. Then I'll get my eraser. I'm not going to do like a perfect job, just want to erase some of this here because we know we won't be able to see any of that. Okay. Now what we have to do is we have to draw guidelines coming back to the other vanishing point. From these corners here, this has to go back to that vanishing point, and this has to go back to the vanishing point, and this, because it's not a vertical line, has to go back to the vanishing point. Right, so now I can zoom back in, pick my black again. Let's say, remember, I want it to be the same thickness as that there, so you draw a line from, make sure that you don't go past the guidelines. And then I got to decide, this one I forgot to make a vanishing point for that one there. Start from the same point, come up and connect to that corner right there. Actually, I couldn't have made it ahead of time because I didn't know how thick I was going to make it, so I needed to connect it to something. Like that. Remember, this one's going back to that vanishing point, so now I'm just following, I'm just tracing over the guidelines, for then I can see my object there. And then I need my eraser again because those lines won't be visible. Like I said, this isn't perfect. Something like that. Right, so now we got our cross there in perspective. And notice this piece of wood is nailed on top of that piece of wood. If I wanted it to go, the pieces of wood to interlink, like this piece of wood, man, how do I word that? You know what I mean, right? If they're interlinked so that this is not on top, but it's inside of this piece of wood. We could have done that too. You would just have to do a little bit differently. And so maybe, I don't know if I have enough time to go through that, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this object for right now. This will probably be easier just to use this tool really quick. And then hit delete. Okay. Okay, I think I have enough time to show this part. So I went back to this stage here. I drew a different one really quick. And remember, all you have to do now, everything's the same as I showed before. The only thing different is what you erase. So you erase everything inside here, right? So I'll go do that. Right, we know we'll see part of the object coming off there, so remember, erase this line, because remember this object is interplaning with this going inside of it. Right, and so I realized I needed one more guideline, so I do that really quick, which is to this point here, because we're going to erase what we're going to erase. we're going to erase this. Oops, wrong layer. We're going to erase this here. Go back, select my line tool, make this line dark. Get rid of that. And then erase this in here. And voila. I put these on the wrong layer, so now that's how you have the cross intersecting. So you just do a slight difference, that one extra vanishing point's needed. So there you go. That's like one super long cross, right? It's going from way over here on the building to way over here. That's like, obviously all wrong, but I just wanted to show, how to do this stuff. This should be a lot shorter here and a lot shorter here. All right, thank you for watching. Leave comments, ask questions, let me know if it's confusing or not. Appreciate it.